hasn't had the greatest time of it, but this is their chance to make it back. On the other hand, you have Snipe Hunters looking to keep that dream alive a third year in a row. Can the stars align for them? Can they make it through this, or will alignment be able to take them out?
We're going in for the last round of the day. We're going to see a huge start here with the gold sarcophagus. Banish the Dormouse, and Quantal is now just looking at Kinokoko's Malice combo. Oh, Dominus Impulse here is an answer to the Jessica. Is there another extender? Kinokoko is laughing, shaking the head a little bit. Can you pass on this? Is that a possibility? Gold sarcophagus is not the most used starter if you have another.
We see on Duel B, there's a quick pass happening as well, and that pass came from Josh. Got ashed on his 1-for-1, and that it's going over to his opponent. And we saw him being so humble, but Arata seems like he is taking control here in this game. And we have a multi-charming fools, at least resolving from Josh. He had to pass on an empty field, but at least he gets to do that now. And Arata is a T-Elements player, ladies and gentlemen. That is nice to see. I love this.
You thought you were done seeing Tailorments, but here comes Rhino Heart. Normal summoning Rhino in the face of Quantal feels like an affront to the king of Tailorments, or rather Jesse Cotton's rival for that title. But here is Kit Kolos on top. So many summons under the Fualos, going to give so many cards, but again, happy to do so because the game could very well end before Josh has a chance to use them.
Actually, Duel C is getting kind of crazy right now. That was a pass on a Link decoder there against Emra, I think. Oh, wait, there we have it already. No, wait, that is a completely different game right there.
Let's go
back to the match we just had. Let's go back to Duel A here to focus on that one, as we have there. Oh, there, that is Quantal, that is Duel A. Okay, that will work. And we have Quantal probably still being on his Malice deck as well. And then on the other hand, we have his opponent here right now. We have the third team member. We have the good old Kino. Oh, no, wait, that's not Kinokoko. Oh, wait, it is Kinokoko. Of course, he's still comboing. And it is Quantal versus Kinokoko.
You know, I was a little bit confused about all of these Link decoders and all of these decks there. But for the moment, you can also enjoy a little peek into the match of Fala Galera there. Because everyone right now is trying to qualify for Day 2, as it is the last round. And we have no team guaranteed so far. No one is undefeated here. All of these duelists are playing on the same level.
At the moment, everything looks good for alignments. Of course, we have Josh taking the lead, rather falling behind after getting the onus on the gameplay by going first. And yet, the Tailorments deck is not done yet. Quantal, on the other hand, trying to intercept with this Bestial Magnamut.
All right. This is a common point where you use a Bestial versus the Malice combo to banish the Link decoder. But that is... Wait, did that even happen on a Link decoder? We're only seeing Chain Link 1 on the red Ransom, which is going to add you something at this point. It is...
Here we go. Enough Tailorments damage to close this one out unless Josh has something. Does he have an answer here? Is there something he can do?
I don't think it is enough, right? It is awfully close, but I think we are going to be left with a couple life points there.
And he has a few cards because of that Fualos, so there's still the opportunity.
Is there Snow? Snow would be the one to make it happen. Maxi, someone...
Oh.
Why are we activating the Maxi here? That is surprising.
Don't ask me.
What are we going to do with the Maxi main phase 2? Josh just want to make sure that before we head into the main phase 2.
Wait. 1,200 life points. That is Lacrima burn range, and I think that Josh just knows about that. Keep some hand trips there for possible Requiem shenanigans, but that is a track from the graveyard fusion summoning, and now you need basically a Skullmeister to negate this, but I think that you're... Oh, we're not even going into the Appaloosa here to possibly block something. SP Little Knight, Lacrima is going to activate the effect in the graveyard to deal 1,200 damage.
And that is that. In the meanwhile, we see more of that direct to life points burn damage coming through in Duel C. Gimmick Puppet making its return to the world stage. We saw it earlier. We've seen it again here.
And it is ending the game there, and we have simultaneous burn damage to seal the deal here in those two duels. And that means that we have another gimmick puppet player actually on the roster of Team Alignment. So it's not only a choice that Team Dream's future mate, but also it is here on Alignment's teammate. And that should mean that this is a 2-0 score overall here, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. So far looks pretty good overall. Let's look at Duel A though, as that is still ongoing. Quantal keeping his team in this, hopefully, but so far has yet to have a turn. It's Malice, Malice, Malice for Kino Coco as the team captains face off against each other.
And I mean, we've said it before. Basically, what Snipe Hunters have to do is to sweep this matchup. They kind of have to go 9-0 to be in contention for day 2. So this is already looking super rough, having lost the first 2 rounds. It's even going to get tougher to win this entire matchup here.
Just looking at the faces on the players by comparison, though. Arata's laughing, Goyoku's having a great time. This is a team whose dreams of escaping the group were pretty much over. And yet here they are, for the love of the game, continuing to play this out and continuing to do great things. But it's Snipe Hunters. This game was so important. This match is so important. They need to win it. So you're seeing, there they are. Focused, calm, collected.
And we do have the White Rabbit now also gets to banish another one of our strong Link monsters, being that White Binder, drawing a card in the process. It's Malice on both sides, but it's a lot happier Malice player on top, being Kino Coco here for Team Alignments, and that should be another Link free, and that is Malice Hearts Cryptor.
I mean, we have seen, we're actually passing here. We have seen Quantal a lot so far in those mirror matches especially, and so far it hasn't felt like he's been lucky on the coin tosses in those. So he's being full comboed a lot. Magnamod resolves in the end phase, adds a Bestial Druid's Worm. The field that his opponent is setting up, the Kino Coco field, is not too impressive. It is only a hard Cryptor with 1 set card. I don't even think it's GWC that is set. Actually, it might be GWC.
Yeah, I think it is. I think we just set the GWC, so that is still pretty strong. But you look into the face camera of Kino Coco, and he was not... Was he happy? He was kind of shaking his head a little bit too, because that is somewhat of a minimalistic field for the Malice deck. Let's face it. Sure, it does provide you with a couple of interruptions still, but it's not perfect, I want to say.
Either happy or laughing in disbelief, perhaps.
Maybe, yeah. Both could be true.
There is like also follow-up there. Of course, you destroyed the Malice March here, but you can banish this one with the Druid's Worm. You have +1 now in the end phase even, so the Druid's Worm can't even be banished in this turn anymore. Now, 4 cards in hand for Quantal. Has another Malice card in hand. We know that because he attempted to use March here.
Yeah. But just look at the face cams of Arata, Kino Coco, and Goyoku. They're just having such a good time laughing together here. It is the most fun tournament of the year. Even though the stakes may be the highest, it's still all about the fun that you have while dueling, and they're just having a good time together as a team. And Quantal is possibly now having a good time normal summoning the most strongest of the Malice monsters.
Yep, that is as good a starter as any. Does Kino Coco have any kind of response here? I see them nodding their head, saying yes, use that.
March here is being activated. Then I think we're trying to set up a little bit more here via something like White Binder, banish White Rabbit from the graveyard, set an MTP. The thing is, if you only end on Cryptor with this follow-up, you basically get 2 banishes out of this, right? And 2 banishes would be enough to take care of the Dormouse starter. But we also know that Quantal has a March Hare in hand. So if there is another Malice card in hand, this won't be the end of it. Are you even going to immediately respond to the Malice P Dormouse here with a possible MTP banish and then Cryptor banish it again before it can activate the effect?
Yeah, I think we saw a decent amount of Malice mirror matches throughout this weekend in this tournament where it really felt one-sided, where one of the Malice players, usually the one that went first, was just cruising and dominating. But this one just actually feels like we are going to get into an open conversation here between the 2 Malice players, where Quantal is not really out of the question here just yet, and may be able to just grind his way into this match.
I like the approach that some other teams have taken that have tacked their Malice deck for the mirror match, because so far we've seen so many instances of Malice just going crazy in the mirror after winning the coin toss. And then, of course, Malice can play into Malice a fair bit, but you will basically never be able to break a full field and go for the game in that turn, and then you're just going to get OTK'd in the next one. So I think the idea of playing like Meowls or maybe even Latsea in your own Malice deck doesn't even sound too bad to me.
Yeah, I do agree. That seems reasonable. And we see Kinokoko continuously bringing back more and more Malice monster. That Malice in the Mirror, though, that we just searched is not going to do anything this turn. The empty PO7, though, that we just set, able to be activated this turn as we have plenty of Malice monsters that we can banish.
Yep, full field of monsters here. Unfortunately, cannot really be used as link material from this point onwards because it is, of course, Quantal's turn still, but can very well be sent with the trap card to further extend. Does Quantal have any kind of response here with his starter now banished?
I love the hopeful views from Emre and Josh going to the center, going to the team captain Quantal, hoping that somehow he's able to pull this one out, to somehow be able to make it happen. But this Cryptor is banishing the Dormouse immediately.
I'm going to call it. Matcha is going to be activated and Impulse is... Oh no, we're actually resolving this immediately. So now the White Rabbit and Kinokoko is just laughing. There's nothing to lose here anymore. Going for the...
He's having the best time ever while actually Quantal gets to play. So what is going on here? And I mean, the speed with the Matcha resolving, with it was resolving, was actually concerning because it felt like there was no response even available, and that's maybe why Kinokoko is laughing. Maybe he toggled off for some reason. That would be a funny one to do here in the World Championship, but we will find out momentarily.
I mean, on the field there is just nothing for him. That's a bunch of monsters, but they don't do anything, especially in the face of an access code talker, which might be happening later. The set card is GWC, as we figured out earlier, and this card, it can be, versus some Fiendsmith shenanigans, can be an interruption to summon out the White Binder to get rid of some problematic cards in the graveyard. If you're banishing your opponent's Malice cards in the graveyard, I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah, I don't think that is going to happen. And I mean, one thing we have to consider, 3,500 life points only for Kinokoko, which means essentially one access code talker, if we can then next to it just clean up the field a little bit in terms of monsters, might be enough to just go for it here. Or we could even just get one big Red Ransom onto the field and then attack over something else, and that may also be the writing on the wall. But we shall see. Kinokoko. You see Kinokoko is really shaking his head, and Goyoku is just laughing with him.
Maybe could have done something a little bit differently there, but I'm not too familiar with the Malice Mirror match enough to say, okay, I'm qualified to advise the world contender on how to play the Malice matchup. That being said, though, Quantal's still in this, still able to play, now running through scenarios with his team, you have to imagine, and now calculating how can he navigate this. It's a formidable field, yes, but a lot of these effects have already resolved. A lot of these options have already been extinguished, and as have some of these life points.
Ooh, that could be Lingoriba, but no, it turns out to be Link Decoder, which is summoning itself into the zone that the Cryptor is pointing to, using the Link arrows wisely and following it up by a Link free. And now it gets interesting because that is the moment where the Bestial Druid's Worm is in the graveyard and will activate here as a chain link free after the Red Ransom and the Link Decoder. What are we trying to go after here? It is the Dormouse, just simply. Okay, monster in defense position. We want to make damage this turn. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3,500 life points left for Kinokoko, so it's easy to win this game if you get a little bit of damage off. 3 monsters. There's GWC. Don't forget about the life points gain of GWC. A nightmare for every chain burn player out there.
Ooh, but there's our very own GWC. And one thing also that Kinokoko will have to remember, Lingoribo can counter the GWC if it's summoned at the right time. So I feel like whenever there's just one Malice monster around, you gotta respect the Lingoribo somehow and maybe just preemptively activate the GWC. We shall find out. We shall see.
I think I can see a line, depending on how much information they have about the deck of Kinokoko, right? But I think there is a line in which you just summon out the Chessy Cat now or Marcher at this spec. That works too, I think.
Yeah.
Even though I think we've already used this one. Yeah, we've used Marcher already, so Chessy Cat is still in the deck, supposedly. I think you can just go for a Dormouse, banish the Chessy Cat now with this, right? And then go into a Lingoribo sneakily, having the Chessy Cat on the field, drawing 2 more cards, then having Lingoribo plus doing an access code talker.
And now we continue with the Chessy Cat trying to find even more cards. And we are drawing. Quantal is really able to possibly do it here. They are continuing to push. Quantal has to keep his team around here. Quantal is the one, the team captain for the first year. The last 2 years, it basically was Josh who brought this Team Snipe Hunters to the world stage, but now it is on Quantal's shoulders to carry. It is on Quantal's shoulders to make it happen, and that's also why this is the last game remaining here in this first set in the very determining round 5 of this round robin.
There is the access code talker with enough attack to punch over anything here, and almost enough to finish the game by itself. Still need something
it's
though.
not GWC.
Okay, that changes things up a little bit. Called by the Grave. We cannot prevent the attack gain from the access code talker, but of course we can at least take out one of the attributes from the graveyard so that the distraction is a little less painful.
I mean, I think you have more than enough darks in the graveyard, or if we're going for a Lingeribo here. What I can see exactly is Lingeribo, and then you're linking those two off now for a Splash Mage, because Splash Mage is water.
Yep.
Summon back something, go into a possible White Binder there, and then get ready to destroy some more cards, even though, yes, a very easy way to deal 3,500 damage. You need another extender to go into a Hard Crypta to deal more damage.
That absolutely is true, and we go in Link free. Is that going to be another Malice Link monster? Indeed, White Binder is the one of choice. I mean, when you have a Royal Rare White Binder, you may as well summon it. Oh, now the Access Code Talker.
You have the Dormouse attack boost. You actually deal some damage. If you attack over Red Ransom or the White Binder, you deal 600, and then the Access Code Talker attacks over the other one for enough damage.
It is. You're so right. I think we are just actually in the position where we can end this. This turn, though, taking a very long time. So we shall see whether the in-game timer of Quantal even is able to still carry us through his turn. Another Access Code Talker effect is being used here, banishing the Lingeribo.
You know what would be crazy? Just a Nibiru here.
Oh, you're so right. We have not seen a whole lot of Nibiru overall.
Destroying the 2300 is interesting because you could have closed out the game by just attacking had you kept both alive.
Yeah, we're missing out on game here, right? If we don't have another monster to summon here.
We get another trap card, though, with the White Binder. And I mean, that's an easy choice. We just gotta get the MTP. But yeah, the White Binder has not yet returned, right? I don't think it has.
Yeah, we just summoned it so we can just attack over here.
Okay, there we go.
Well. And I think that's an easy way to close out this game. Now, we are in the battle phase, so there is no Nibiru, the Primal Being, coming your way anymore. And Quantal Think will now look out to get this to a 1-2, not giving Alignment the chance to go 3-0 here to completely sweep the Snipe Hunters.
And Quantal keeps Snipe Hunters in this tournament, and he keeps Snipe Hunters' dreams alive for one more year.
Let's see the second set here. It is still Team Snipe Hunters versus Team Alignments, and we need a comeback from Team Snipe Hunters if they want to stay in this year. Let's check it out.
Also, as another update, Dreams Future versus Chiba Corp. Right now, 2-2.
Ooh, that's another important match from Group A, as both of these teams are also on that important 2-2 record currently. Oh, and we have a classic pass here. Not like this. Josh shaking his head. Has to completely give up there by just not using a single card. You can tell if you look at the face cam from Josh. He could use the Fubalos, but there even is Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, and there's the second Fubalos right after. Can this one resolve at least?
This is going to be a Gamma, I'm telling you.
This one resolves. Oh, and we see a Skull Guardian there on Duel B. So we have another edition of Voice This Voice at the World Championship here, and that is the opponent of Quantal there. So we have that again as the anti-Malice deck, apparently.
And usually if you're playing Malice versus a Voiceless Voice, if you're playing on ladder in a ranked game, you're gonna go, okay, well, I think I can beat this end field probably with my Malice deck. It's so powerful. But there's still two unknown cards in the hand of your opponent, and in this particular format, there's a high chance that one of those is Lancea, Chaos Hunter, or Imperial Iron.
We are almost at the 8,000 threshold with Ryziel main deck monsters.
Snipe Hunters so far.
It absolutely is. You're so right, but maybe they can still come back. Goyoku right now, though, enjoying his Ryziel deck. Here comes Ryziel Detonator, and we are more than clearly working towards 8,000 points of damage, getting another material there onto the Ryziel Detonator, and having the node now too. That's all with some quick math. I can count to 35, 49. Oh, we're missing 100. Oh, but look at that. That is the Sakitama there, which is going to make sure that this is a little over 8,000 points of damage. Such an interesting card to play in general.
Yep, should be a clean close out here. Really phenomenally well played here. Honestly, not much Josh could do. Granted, the 2 Fua loss were kind of useful, still not enough here. Going first, drawing 2 of those, really, really tragic for the former captain of Team Snipe Hunters, but it's not over yet for them. Quantal, Emre still in the game, even if they are going second. Emre definitely has a way of playing it going second if he's brought that 10 Pi Dragon Sky Striker deck.
I mean, Ryziel is not too shabby either there. Oh, we're going to see a Quantal called by the Grave on to the Maxi, chaining his own Maxi. Very, very strong here. Of course, Voiceless Voice can also summon on the opposing turn, forcing out the Dynamondo immediately there. So for Quantal, very interesting what's going on there. Emre, if he's playing Ryziel, oh, look at this. There's like a good field on the opposing side, and Emre even used a hand trap there, so didn't help him at all. It's the strongest games of Matters is when your opponent actually uses hand traps versus you, and they are just not effective versus you.
Continuing to just replenish the hand as well. The field is good, the hand is good. Everything looks good for Kinokoko right now, but Emre, we've seen the 10 Pi Dragon Sky Striker build be able to make a comeback before. Can we see it again? It's now Quantalson. He's playing the Atlantean Mermail that qualified him for the World Championship. Can he do something with it this time around? This deck has not been successful so far today, but this could be the chance. This could be the game we need to see it. It's the clutch factor of bringing it out in the deciding such a valuable win for Snipe Hunters.
It is, of course, also clearly a decision to play around the anti-malice deck of his opponent. He was correctly anticipating that there would be an anti-malice deck waiting on the opposing side, waiting in the lineup of Arata there, and that is the case, but Mermail not so affected by that.
Yeah, but Abyss Ryan is now discarding the Shadow Squad, and Abyss Ryan is going to get negated anyways, but still, that's what you want to have, right? There is a Neptubus. Neptubus will immediately be popped here by the trap card of the Voiceless Voice
Radiance of the Voiceless Voice?
It is Radiance of the Voiceless Voice, and that is going to make an abrupt end to the approaching Mermail combo as it is gone there. But Quantal has another prince! Is Quantal the prince of the ocean? Is he the Atlantean prince that can still keep this going? Looks like there is no further interruption from Arata.
We know he Ministreled. He Ministreled earlier. He knows there is not even a Soravis in hand. I don't think that is any sort of interruption there. And if you've ever seen a Mermail deck uninterrupted, you know that it can win games.
And last year, we saw Quantal lose to a comeback from Maguro off of one single card. This time, it's one single Neptubus standing against the Voiceless Voice field, and yet it is that Neptubus that's now resolving, that's now making things happen for Snipe Hunters.
Not so quick though. When we know, what is the last card in hand? Is it the Ritual Monster which we could possibly Ritual summon out on the opponent's turn due to blessings? Or it's not a Ritual Monster?
We banished the Soravis from hand.
That's great. Okay, so we should be somewhat safe. We cannot target the Skull Guardian right now, but now that we give back the continuous spell there to the hand, it is much easier because now targeting is again allowed.
Yes, you can get rid of the low, the prayers of the Voiceless Voice, and eventually also the Skull Guardian will follow. Skull Guardian used the negation for the turn, so significantly less useful, but also once you deal with that, you can then swing for game and just continue to explode this in your favor. Quantal clutching it out for Snipe Hunters here, continuing with the combos. Atlantean Mermail wasn't good so far today, but now is the time to shine.
Shadow Squad going up to level 7. We're setting up big Exceeds plays here with Poseidra or the big Neptubus. Discarding Dragoons for it is per cost, so you're going to add another Sea Serpent. We have had one Prince, we've had two Prince. Might as well that one out. Are we going to see a big Neptubus here?
Of course, we're going to go for Poseidra, I would assume. And there we have it. Poseidon Abyss, the Atlantean Dragon Lord, is of course the extra deck variant of Poseidon. We saw the main deck one coming with a special summon from the hand, but now we upgrade our Exceed monster into this Poseidon from
Solid
the
win
deck.
ratio when it's been seen, of course, does suggest that this is one of the finishing pieces of the deck, and as long as the deck is allowed to get to this stage of the combo, it's basically accomplished its job. Doing fantastically well to keep Quantal in this duel, doing fantastically well to keep Snipe Hunters in this tournament, bounces back 2 cards to the hand, clears the field, and gets ready to unleash this Atlantean Mermail.
Yep, and now a Meowth is being dropped after the entire field is gone there. That was the last card in hand, Molchami Meowth, that you can, of course, leave there. That is absolutely massive information here. We have the Soravis now from the deck, but the Maxi that was activated earlier in the turn, chained to the own called by to a Maxi, draws another card now, so Quantal can continue to play. We're going to link those 2 monsters off. The Soravis is of course an interruption itself. By bouncing itself back to the hand, you can get rid of a special summoned monster, as far as I'm aware.
The Marincess Coral Anemone now just going to extend further for Quantal. It's still looking pretty good for him here on that Mermail Atlantean deck.
You could negate the summon though, because that is what Soravis does. You can negate the summon of a monster, and that is what we're going to do. And I gotta agree, that Coral Anemone would have led to quite a bit. Still, though, the effect of Poseidon in the graveyard, as it was linked off, can be activated, and surely we do. And we may not have the Coral Anemone anymore, but guess what? The water is still flowing, Mermails are still going strong, and we're not only going to summon back 1, but 2. And not only 2, I think we're going to summon back a full total of 3 monsters here.
Gonna give over a few cards to the Meows, but that is okay. There we go. Deep Sea Minstrel going to resolve as well. It just continues to go, go, go. The Atlantean Mermail deck does not stop here. Quantal does not stop here. Snipe Hunters Tournament does not stop here, as long as he can close this one out.
He is definitely trying, and also still on Duel C. Emerald also very much trying, showing his Ryziel deck, Malice deck of Kino Coco, but Kino Coco still, of course, a very accomplished Malice duelist. He may have lost on the first set there against Quantal, but we see again he has a massive field brewing there on Duel Table C.
Yep, Malice is such a dominant strategy here in this tournament, in this meta game. If not every deck can play Artifact Lancia, Malice just becomes such a powerhouse. Now the D-Safe Worm is going to negate the plugin. Emmer has already committed to the Ice Ryziel, but what else is he going to do? There are so many cards on the side of his opponent. Passes the turn, and I think we should go back to Duel A. We're so close to seeing...
riding on Quantal here. Needs to win this to even keep Snipe Hunters in it. It looks good. There is the Synchro Summon. Looking into the extra deck for an option here. It's a 4 and a 3. It's a 7, and it is the Deep Sea Prima Donna.
And that will be answered with Artifact Lancia. We said that this Voices Voice deck is an anti-Malice strategy, so it only makes sense that there is a Lancia, which we now drew into with the Mulchami Meowths. And that is actually not too bad against the Prima Donna. Actually, it works pretty well against it even. There.
Is that not just game?
That
no,
is 8100.
8100, okay, some quick math. So maybe we're heading into the battle phase. Is that what we're looking at?
That might be 7100 actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
that is not
8100.
Ay, back to school for you, Ibris. Doing math classes again, but I'm sure Quantal is good on his own math.
White Aura Monoceros now coming out here. 2500 attack points on that. 52 plus 16 is 68.
Still not just enough, but we can, of course, continue to bring back more monsters from the graveyard, but that will also be leading to more cards being drawn off of that. Mulchami Meowths. Okay, we're getting really close.
What are you realistically drawing into here? If this is your anti-Malice deck, I don't think you have Nibiru the Primal Being in your hand. Maximum a Chaos Hunter can be summoned here, I think. I don't think there are any other really impactful hand traps that you're running here.
To be fair, though, the Chaos Hunter could at least buy you a turn, right?
One more summon, one more Synchro Summon here. Level 6 this time. It's going to be the Coral Dragon making an appearance.
That is still not 8,000 damage. Oh, that is 8,000 damage.
It is, with the boost that is applying there. It actually is. And we see Quantal not only in the first set, but also here in the second set, keeping the hopes alive for Team Sniper.
Right now, which is Chiba Corp versus Dreams Future, are still duking it out on another table. But let's see. Duel B, Duel C, Duel A loading here in the last round of the WCS in Paris.
Sit down, everyone. It's game time once more, and it was another coin toss lost here for Team Snipe Hunters. Josh not able to go first, but hopefully he drew his full house again, and there's a set free there.
Nice.
That's possible, maybe.
That looks promising, unless it's Labyrinth or Dynamorphia. Probably the full
Oh no, we normal summon full house again.
Good,
You gotta be kidding me.
we have some options here. The Goblin Biker does suggest that it could very well be the Memento deck that Josh is piloting. And here we go. Quantal starting first on the Malice as well. Emre starting first.
Very sensible, yes. I think if your
Solid
opponent
judgment.
normal summons Mulchami Fuwalos to go for a Goblin Biker Grand Breakout, then you will Solemn Judgment that card. And I think that is going to result in a pass from Josh here. Sets one more card and gives it away to his opponent. How's it looking on the other tables?
Looking pretty good for Snipe Hunters so far. Of course, Emre getting to go first with the Ryzeal has not been disrupted, able to set up accordingly. Malice, the same situation here. And it is Labyrinth, but there is Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. And suddenly, this doesn't look too scary for Josh because the Labyrinth won't finish the game next turn.
Yep, depends also on the last card. If that is a big welcome Labyrinth, of course. This is, oh wow, okay, never mind me. That is the Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle.
That ain't bad. And imagine the last card now next to this is the big welcome
Or
Labyrinth.
Trap Trick.
Okay, oh yeah, but we do give it over. Only 4,000 life points remaining for Kinokako. But now with the Lady Labyrinth on the field. And we shall see whether there's more to it. Have we drawn additional trap cards? We just go into the battle phase. Fair enough. 3,000 attack points is plenty of damage to put onto the life points of Josh here. So life points wise, we're almost even again.
Yep, wondering if this was another hand disruption drawn. No, it's another thing to set in the back. Perhaps we will see the big welcome on the next turn, but Josh has at least one more turn here. Can he use it to get things going? Because his team seem to be doing well for themselves. Can the former captain...
Oh, Heavy Storm Duster! And that is basically a throwback because Josh played Labyrinth at the World Championship 1 year ago and also used that Heavy Storm Duster, and now Kinokako is the one reminding him of that by using it here against the two sad cards.
And now you can set the big welcome and force for the next turn. But there is Droplet.
Hold on, okay.
Sending the Memento Fusion. This is a card that you might want to have in your graveyard right there. I assume the other card is also... No, this shouldn't be a Droplet. Which other card? I think he drew Droplet for turn, so there might not be another play. Unless you have another Mulchami that you can normal summon and then activate the Fusion. But how does that help you?
It was a Grand Breakout that was destroyed there, but maybe we just drew one of our powerful starters. Maybe a Dark Blade, maybe an Angwitch.
But would we not set the Droplet if we had it in hand already? I think the Forbidden Droplet might have been the top deck there.
You're right, I do agree on that. It is now Josh thinking what to do with that one card in hand, and he has to use it defensively, but okay, hold on, true, it's not even necessarily defensively, as the Fusion enables us plays here, it was a Maxi.
This is absolutely crazy. What are we even searching a Bone Party for next turn? You just need to find something to play with. Josh is setting up the next turn. The Lady is again at 3,000 attack points. You just almost basically need anything on the other side there. This is crazy. We're going into the battle phase. 3,000 damage again. Josh is going to get another top deck here.
But is he going to get Solemn Judgmented again is the question. Is there
Very
any...
high chance.
Yeah, true.
We will find it. I mean, the Bone Party on its own doesn't even do anything. We will need a Memento monster next to it, and that is required as a draw for turn. Josh, is there a play? Can you keep it competitive? We go into the battle phase. Hold on. Is this maybe an evenly matched
But how does this help in this situation? Because his opponent knows exactly every single card there. If this is an evenly matched, you just say okay. Oh, Josh is smiling, setting a monster there, possibly trying to force out some interaction with a bluffed, evenly matched there. Sets the monster. No Bone Party. This is another Ash Blossom, or is it a Fuwalos? It is something for sure, but it's not helping at this point. Josh is just patiently waiting, and I think in the end phase we're still considering to do something. How's it looking on the other tables?
It looks like the Maxi there from Emerald was just mad with Ash Blossom, but the field from Emerald on Duel A is already
Everything
pretty
looks
decent.
quite good in A
so
and C,
it is
to be
all right.
honest.
I think we are okay with that Maxi not resolving. It's always a good feeling to resolve Maxi on top of a combo, but it's not necessarily required to win the game.
I mean, also you have Ryziel cross, right? If your Maxi gets Ash Blossom, I think you use the cross, no?
I agree, yeah. Should be. And let me tell you something, while Snipe Hunters are really fighting to stay in this, between Dreams Future and Shiba Corp on one of the other matches in Group A, it comes down to the very last match.
Yep.
They are on a 4-4 even score at the moment there. There it is. And absolute madness.
I think that is the correct way to end this game, possibly. Activating the Daruma Karma Cannon. Only having one monster yourself, knowing your opponent cannot chain anything to it, setting up the big welcome Labyrinth. You only need to deal 2,000 damage. Just flip up that Lady Labyrinth, go into the battle phase, and if this is not something completely out of pocket, like a Penguin Soldier, then you should have the game here.
Penguin Soldier would be iconic. I'm sort of doubting it though. We do go for the big welcome Labyrinth, and we are basically going into the final motions here. Kino Coco knows he got this. He made a good call here with bringing the Labyrinth deck for the very last game as well. And that could be their way of closing it all out here in this one. And we just talked a little bit about the match between Dreams Future and also, of course, Shiba Corp. Looking at it, it seems like Enzo is right now in the process of closing it out for Shiba Corp. So we actually may not only lose Team 7, and we're in the process of losing Team Snipe Hunters here as well, but we could also just be losing Dreams Future on top of that.
An all-new top 4 potentially here this year at the Master Duel World Championship 2025, the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship rather. A whole weekend of Yu-Gi-Oh! Action. This is the Master Duel group stage, the final round of it, deciding who will advance.
It does look like that. Okay, we have the final blow, and therefore that is the end of Team Snipe Hunters tournament run. They are on a 2-3 record, respectable, but not good enough to qualify